Good morning, children. Here we are into our 8th chapter of our syllabus. The name of the chapter is Too Many Professors. What is this too many professors? Oh, if you have same like one person, if you have too many persons and too many advising you to do this, to do that, one single work is being told by many people, how do you feel? If one sum, max sum you are doing, okay? One mummy is coming and telling one method, daddy is telling another method. At school, teacher would have taught another method. You know in your mind some other method. If brother is coming and telling you, I will teach you some easy method, and he teaches in another method, which method will stay back in your mind? We would have understood nothing, isn't it? Yes, that is what is called as too many professors. See, let us see what is this too many professors. Here in this chapter, same like one person, there are many people going to come out. Oh, it is very much interesting, right? Same like one person, too many people coming out. Oh, let us see what is it. Here, as I usually tell you, follow the page number as I follow you. Page number 127. As I read through the chapter, I want you to follow it. Professor Brainstorm loves inventing, but unfortunately, all his invention land him to the worst possible situations. Sometimes, even his housekeeper, Mrs. Flittersnoop, and his best friend, Colonel Deadshot, also get caught with him in this trouble. So what happens here? There is a professor called as Brainstorm. In this Brainstorm, he is a person who loves inventing. Day by day, he could, whatever he knows, he started inviting. So all the time what happens whenever he start inventing, what happens is sometimes the invention may come positive or sometimes the invention goes worst. Isn't it? Usually when using any chemicals or something, if the blast happens, he had two people as his victim. That is his housekeeper, that is a housemaid. The lady, her name was Mrs. Flittersnoop, and also the professor's best friend, Colonel Deadshot. Okay, so those two people were as a victim for him in his invention. So this is a conversation between the people as a story given here. Let me read through the conversation and give you the meaning for it. Let us start. Whatever can that awful smell be? Can't be the drain, for the man was here only yesterday to see to them. Can't be something gone bad, for I cleaned the ladder this very morning. It must be the professor's. I check. Okay, here she says, that is Mrs. Flittersnoop. She says, what is that awful smell? What is awful? It is dirty, a stinking smell. What it could be? She's saying it cannot be the drain. Drain, you know, the garbage lane that goes near the house, where all the dirty water from the house is being sent out. She says it cannot be the drain because yesterday the person who could clean it has come and cleaned the drain yesterday. So it cannot be the drain, and it cannot be the ladder also. What is a ladder? Ladder is a place where you store your food products. Okay, maybe some tomatoes or some household products like flour. All those things when you store, no, that storing cupboard is called as a ladder. She says it cannot be the ladder also because I cleaned it today morning itself. So now what it could be? It could be from professor doing something. Let me check, she says. Now this professor is speaking here. Amazing, astounding. Come to my study, Mrs. Flittersnoop. See what I have invented. So here he is saying the whatever I invented, it is amazing. and astoundingly. It is a shocking thing. Come to my study. See, come to my room to see what I have made or what I have invented. Okay, in the next half he's saying, listen, Mrs. Flittersnoop, the world will resound with discovery. Never used to think I was as clever as I thought I was, but now I see I am much cleverer than I hope I might be. Just come with me. So he's saying, listen, Mrs. Flittersnoop, the world is going to resound. What is being resound? They are going to appreciate me for my discovery, what I have done now. And I think I was never so clever as I am cleverer now. I hope you will also be happy looking at my invention. Now just come with me to the study room. She says, I beg your pardon, sir, but if it is this awful smell that you are making, I must give notice. See, I don't want to come into any of your invention. I beg your pardon. It is a phrase, I beg your pardon. That means, I'm very sorry, sir. Please excuse me. That is what she meant to say there. But she says it is stinking so much, giving a dirty smell. That means I have to have a look what it is. Okay, let's see what it is. Now she's, after coming to the room, she says, the terrible odor. That means the dirtiest smell. Odor means smell. The professor is saying, this liquid will bring to life any picture to which it is applied. Look at this. I shall pour some over the picture of some apple. So he has made a liquid. That liquid is giving such dirty smell. But he is saying this liquid will give any picture to life. So on whichever picture this liquid is poured means immediately that picture will turn into the product, exactly the product what it is. So he is saying, I am going to pour some of this liquid to the apple picture. Let us see what is going to happen. Now he has poured the liquid on some apples. Now the Mrs. Flittersnoop is telling something. It's only getting wet. Very good, sir. And now I must get back to my cakes. Here sir is saying, wait, it takes some time. Look. So here she is saying, after him pouring the liquid onto the picture, she is saying she didn't find any changes there. Immediately she is saying, sir, it's only getting wet. Yeah, it's a waste of time me standing here. Okay, let me get back to my kitchen where I was making my cake. So she is making a cake in the kitchen. So she is getting back to that. So the professor is saying, it will take some time for the reaction to start. Wait, look here. The reaction is starting. Now the apples have come out. She's saying, oh, it's going all lumpy apples coming alive. So by now she could see the apples, real apples are coming out. So she's saying, oh, lumpy apples are coming out. That means really they are getting alive. Now both are eating that apple. Both are tasting how tasty it is. The professor is saying, except for a little papery flavor, the apples are certainly a success. Now I shall spray a picture of a box of chocolate, but sadly it cost more to make a liquid than it would cost to buy the things. So here he says, after tasting, little papery flavor is there because it has come out from the paper, no? Little papery flavor is there. Other than that, the apples are very much tasty. That shows the experiment really worked, or the invention is working. He's saying, now I'm going to spray it on a paper where there is a box of chocolate. And he says, the cost of this making this liquid is more than buying the actual product and eating it. Okay, the cost of the chocolate is less compared to the cost of making the liquid, he says. Now she is saying, you don't say. I'll enjoy those chocolates. That means how tasty the apples are now. Like that, I am going to enjoy that box of chocolate. Also, you don't tell anything else. Just spray it on the box of chocolate, she says. But now he says, there are certain limitations to the power of the liquid. The things it brings to life go back as they were when the liquids dries off. So there are some limitations for the usage of this liquid also. Until the liquid sprayed on the object is strong, it will live alive. When the liquid dries off from the object will go back to the same position from where it has come out. That is what he says. Now it says, I don't know yet whether it will work on animals or people. That means I would like to try this on some animal pictures, but I don't know how much it is going to work on those objects. That is what he's meaning now. Now he has sprayed on some animal pictures from that animal book. Meow, the sound is coming. That means one cat has come out. He's saying amazing. Oh God, the elephant too. That means from the book, elephant is also coming out. So he could see one cat and an elephant coming out from the picture book. I am leaving. I'll be with my sister Aggie today. That means the elephant has pushed the professor aside and now it is going back of Mrs. Flitter Snoop. So she is running in front and telling to the professor, I am going now. I will go to my sister's house today. What is the name of the sister? Aggie. I am going to Aggie's house today. I am not going to stay here anymore. Oh God, the silly elephant has dropped the entire liquid on my photograph album. Oh, now the elephant, as it was pushing the professor, the entire liquid has been fallen on the photograph book. So where he had saved all his old pictures, his own pictures, and on that photograph, this liquid has been fallen now. Heavens, I'll dry the elephant. It will make it go back into the picture. He's saying the elephant also I am going to dry now so that all the pictures will go back. So nothing will come alive. All the photographs in the album K had come alive. There were too many professors at various ages, numerous flitter snoops, and all the other people that had been photographed once upon a time. That means the professor were many in numbers. That means of various ages also. And based on his age and how many pics he had taken, all the pictures have come to alive. And also he says numerous flitter snoops. That is from when she is working with him, in how many pictures she were along with him in the pictures, all those pictures have come to alive. And other people who all had been in the pictures along with him, all were alive in this photographs now. Now the professor is telling, good afternoon. Someone is down here. Don't take it yet. I have got the sun in my eyes. So one more professor is saying, don't take it yet. I have got the sun in my eyes. That means my Google glasses are there. Okay, in the second picture it says, oh God, that's me at 16 and me at 22. Goodness, 3 of Mrs. Flitter Snoop and 2 of Colonel Deadshot. So he's sitting in one corner and is trying to gauge himself. He's saying, oh God, me at the age of 16 and me at the age of 22. So at 16 how I was, one picture says. And at 22 how he was, one more is saying. And he says 3 pictures that we could see in the photograph. No, all those are Mrs. Flitter Snoop and 2 Colonel Deadshot. So 2 like a army man is there. No, that is 2. That 2 are Colonel Deadshot. And the 3 pictures, one is at 16, that standing person, 22, that sitting person. Now he is aged up. Okay, the 3 ladies are there. That is Mrs. Flitter Snoop. See how funny it is. Heavens, that so many of me are different ages. The wonderful liquid have has brought every single one of the photograph in the album to life, and all repeating what they were saying when the photograph was taken. That means now he is saying all that from when the photographs, everything has come to life, and they are repeating the same words at the time of taking photograph. What they were telling, the same thing they are repeating. He is getting amazed to himself. Hurry up and take it, I must go in and get the tea. So now Mrs. Flitter Snoop is telling, hurry up and take it. You take it, that product out. What is the product? We don't know. She's saying, I should go and get the tea. And one more professor is saying, don't take it yet. I have got the sun in my eyes. So when he opened the door, what the professor was telling, the same thing he is telling again. Don't take it yet. I have got the sun in my eyes. Now Mrs. Flittersnoop is telling to the Colonel Deadshot, had I better take my hat off first? So remove my hat first, she is telling to Colonel now. Now there's a baby here. Baby wants pretty songs. A small baby is caught in a picture there. That small baby is also come out. The baby wants some pretty songs. It is crying for some songs there. Now the professor is looking at one of the policemen that he has been captured in the photograph. He is saying, terrible, terrible. The poor policeman, only half of him was captured in the camera. That means the policeman has come only half the picture. That half picture man is alive now with half size. He is saying, after looking at the man, he is saying only half of him was been captured in the camera. That half man has been seen again now. Oh my God, he is saying. Now, oh dear, what if I get mixed up with all these come to life photo sort of people and forget which is real, me. Oh God, the doorbell ring too. So he doesn't know which is real now. Everything is talking and everything is making noise and of their own shot. He's saying, how will I guess myself that who is the real one? Now the doorbell is ringing. Now policeman is saying, pass please. So whatever his word was, he is saying, pass please. Now the doorbell was ringing, no? From the doorbell he is saying, ha, hula, Bransmum is his friend is calling at the door saying that, hi, hello, Bransmum, he's from outside, he is calling. So now he is the Mr. Deadshot is saying, party on, sorry to intrude. What been for a holiday? You're looking well and 10 years younger. So he could see everybody there, and the person who went and opened the door, he's saying, oh, you started a party now, and sorry for disturbing you. What made you go for a holiday today? Then you're looking very younger, 10 years younger than previously how you used to look. So he has come to meet with the person who is 10 years back been taken picture. Now Colonel has come inside. He is saying, what's this? What's this? Imposter. What? That is not me at all. I am me here. Wait till I catch you. So he could see another colonel standing inside. He is saying, what is this? What is this? That is not me. Okay. Whoever is standing inside, that is imposter, pretending to be looking like me, same like that. So he's saying, that is not me. How come the person is standing inside? Wait, stand there itself until I come and catch you. There is a baby coming and holding the colonel's leg. What is the baby telling? Goo goo. Okay, now the policeman is coming and standing behind him and saying, pass long please, pass long please. So it is a very funny situation happening there. Now professor is coming and saying, oh, I invented a liquid thing comes to life. I'll tell you quickly. Call must get bottling paper dry, liquid of photos, then they will go back into the album. So he's explaining what had happened with him. He's saying wait for until everything dries up so that everybody will go back to the paper itself. They'll go back into the album. So after looking into that, he is saying, good, good, the wind from the windows is wearing out the effects of the liquid. So let us open all the windows so that the wind will come and dry up everything so that everybody will go back. Hooray, victory, the enemy is rooted. That means the enemy is, so he says the enemy is rooted. Rooted means it can be destroyed. So he's saying now, yes, all these people will go back by opening the windows, means all my enemies are rooted. So in this story, who is this enemy? This enemy is the elephant who threw the bottle on the photographs. So now professor is saying, Professor, if you promise not to do it again, I'll come back regard Mrs. Flittersnoop. So he's saying, who is telling? The elephant is telling to professor, promise me that you are not going to do this again. Otherwise, I will come back and I will regard Mrs. Flittersnoop. That is, I am going to chase her again. Okay. Now the professor is saying, well, all the liquid has been used up and I have forgotten the recipe. So, I shan't be able to do it again. Thanks goodness, but it was most informative. So he's saying, okay, to elephant. Okay, don't worry. All the liquid whatever I had has been finished. So and also I have forgot the recipe of how to make that liquid. And if I will also, I won't be able to do it again. And he says, thanks to goodness, thank goodness. If whatever happened, everything is sorted out. But after all, thinking about it, it is really the most informative, that is more innovative. Now the professor is saying, I will write a book about the wonderful liquid. I am going to write a new book about what had happened with me regarding this liquid. I am going to write a book. Now Mrs. Flittersnoop, she has come back. She's saying, I'm sure nobody will believe it. She's saying nobody is going to believe whatever had happened. They may think it is a imagination, but still, sir, it was a wonderful time. So this story was written by Norman Hunter. Norman George Limner Hunter. He was a children author from Great Britain. The person is from Britain and he is writing more stories based on children loving stories. Okay, he is best known for creating Professor Brunetswarm. The Brunetswarm is a series was originally meant for the radios. The first illustrated book was published in 1933 and the second one in 1937. Hunter is also known for writing advertising and conjuring among others. Think what is this? Hilarious stories also he used to write, and advertising stories he used to write, and also horror stories this person used to write. Who is this? Norman Hunter. So this is the end of our story, children. So we had seen a beautiful person, that is Professor Brunetswarm, and he had created a liquid and what all the liquid did to the photographs there. Yes, children, hope everybody would have enjoyed this story here. Yes, in the next session we will go with the exercise of this chapter. Okay, children, until then, have a good day. Bye.